Okay, so when we launch Adobe Aero, we're brought here to this home screen. Now this home screen gives us quick access to your cloud documents, your recent files, and your deleted files. It is also where we can create new Aero scenes or open existing Aero scenes. Today, we'll be opening up an existing Aero scene. So click Open and navigate to where you downloaded the supporting material. Now this is a .real file, which is Aero's native file format for creating augmented reality. Once you've found the scene, I found mine here, Tour the Workspace, click on it and press Open. Now you'll see we have a nice brontosaurus, some rocks, and a tree. Now if you come into the scene and click on the brontosaurus, you should highlight it and then press F, and now this will frame it inside the 3D workspace here. Okay, so let me show you around the workspace so you have a quick understanding of where things are and what they do. We'll start here in the upper left. This button here will bring you back to the home screen. To the right of that, we have the edit and preview modes. Edit mode is where you, as the author, will create your scene by adding assets, adding interactivity, and creating behaviors for your objects within the scene. It is where you're going to craft and build your AR experience. Now, preview mode is a way to experience the scene as a viewer would. It previews how your scene all works together. Your triggers, your behaviors, your interactivity, your sounds. It mimics how the viewer would experience the scene in the physical world. Similar to a play button in more traditional workflows. Now you'll be going between edit and preview all the time. It's a fundamental part of the process. So moving on to the right, this is the actual name of your scene, your .real file. And then we have our undo button. And this is how you share your augmented reality. You could share it as a QR code, as a link, or even export out the .real file if you're collaborating with others. Coming over to the left side of the screen again, we have our import button. Now the import button is how you import objects into Aero. You can import 2D assets, 3D assets, sounds, layered Photoshop files, animated PNG sequences, and so forth to craft and author your scene. Beneath that, we have the selection tool, which we have selected already. You can see the dinosaur is selected. There's a lot of features right off the selection tool: move, rotate, and scale. Beneath that, if you need finer detail, we have move tool, we have the rotate tool, and we have the scale tool, all actually affect the actual object in the scene. Now underneath that, we have orbit, pan, and dolly. Now these three commands, orbit, pan, and dolly, actually affect the viewport, not the actual object in the scene. So let's try this. Come over here and select orbit, and then come into your scene and push your mouse button. Now, we are orbiting around the scene as if we are in a helicopter flying around the dinosaur. We are not actually rotating the dinosaur. We're just rotating how we see the dinosaur in the scene. Now we do the same thing with pan. This pans us back and forth, and with dolly, pushing us in and out. Now just to recap again, these three commands actually affect how we view things in the viewport. They do not affect the actual object. These four commands actually affect the object. Now moving on down, this here is Behavior Builder. Now Behavior Builder is where you create customizable triggers and actions. And if you don't see it, make sure you have this little running person selected. Now there's a lot to cover with Behavior Builder, and we're going to tackle it in lots of tutorials further on down the road. But for now, just know this is where all the interactivity is added and the magic is created. Now above that, we have the starter assets. These are a bunch of assets that we are supplying that you can create augmented reality with. Coming over here, this is our scene graph. Now our scene graph lists every object in the scene and allows you to select objects easily, to view them, to hide them. Just like the dinosaur, you can hide them. You can lock them so you can't select them again within the scene. And you can rename the assets here. Let's actually unlock that. Below that, we have our action panel. So this will actually affect these objects you have selected here. We can delete, duplicate, group. This will actually align it to the floor or the actual ground plane. Watch the dinosaur right now. Bink, gets stuck to the ground plane. This sets it into the size you brought the object in at, which is 0.1. This scales it back to the original size, which is quite huge. And this allows you to replace the asset. And below that, we have our properties panel. Now you could use this if you need more precision or control over your objects. You can actually just click in here and type in values for position, rotation, and scale. And that is an overview of the workspace. And this is what the scene looks like in augmented reality.